Meeting will come to order, closed session. The City Council, City of Rialto, the acting successor agency to the redevelopment agency, the Rialto Utilities Authority, and the Rialto Housing Authority will come to order. At this time, we'll have the clerk call the roll call for closed session.
Mayor Baca.
Present.
Mayor Pro Tem Scott.
Present.
Councilmember Montoya.
Present.
Councilmember Perez.
Present.
Councilmember Carrizales.
Present.
City Manager Tanya Williams.
Present.
City Attorney Eric Vell.
Present.
Thank you.
Thank you, all members present and accounted for. At this time, I'll turn it over to our city attorney to discuss some of the items that will be in closed session.
Thank you, Mayor. You have 4 items under closed session this evening. The first is a conference with legal counsel with regard to one item of existing litigation. That's the Shepard case. You have a conference with legal counsel with regard to 4 items of anticipated litigation. Most of those are workers' compensation claims. You also have a conference with legal counsel with regard to a decision on whether or not to initiate litigation in one matter. And then finally, you have a conference with your real property negotiators with regard to property located at 119 North Riverside Avenue in the city of Rialto. That concludes our list of closed session items for today.
Is there any person in the item that would like to discuss any of the items that have been brought before us in closed session? Seeing that there's none and all of them are shaking their heads no. With that, do I hear a motion to close closed session? Motion's been made by Andy Canaceres, seconded by Carla Perez. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposition? Motion carries. We'll close closed session.
Earthquakes you see in movies are one thing, but real life is a completely different animal. Just because you can't predict an earthquake doesn't mean that you can't prepare for one. In the event of a real earthquake, you should drop, cover, and hold on. Visit ready.gov/earthquake and practice what to do to keep you and your family safe in the event of a real earthquake. And you'll be seen as a hero by your family and your loved ones.
When the earth shakes, the ground moves, and things start to fall, you'll ask yourself, how prepared or unprepared are you? Have you removed objects? When the earth shakes, the ground moves, and things start to fall, you'll ask yourself, how prepared or unprepared are you? Have you removed objects from over the bed and over your head? Anchored your possessions securely to the wall. It won't be a pain, and you're not doing it in vain. Are your emergency kits packed? What about your family, your friends? Do they know what to do, how to get in touch, and where to meet? Do you know how to drop, cover, and hold on, covering your head and neck? What if you're outside? Or in a car? After the shaking stops, look around. Figure out what to do. Stay away from damaged areas. Turn on a radio. Reach out for help. And if you're trapped, do not move about. Stay calm. Only shout as a last resort. Once everything and everyone is safe, get prepared. An aftershock could be on its way. So before the earth shakes, the ground moves, and things start to fall, get prepared. Make a plan. Practice what you know, because an earthquake can happen anytime, anywhere. You never know.
Being a prostate cancer survivor can make a man feel all alone in the fight, especially in the Inland Empire. I should know. I am a 6-year prostate cancer survivor. That is why we started the Walnut Tribe Support Group, a nonprofit support group for prostate cancer survivors and their families, where they can get help, support, and information to guide them through it all. Now, in partnership with the Pink Ribbon Place in Riverside and the Greater Faith Bible Church in Rialto, we will have our in-person and Zoom meetings at 2 locations, both beginning at 6 p.m. The Riverside meetings will be held on the first Wednesday of every month, and our Rialto meetings will be held on the third Tuesday of every month. If you have been diagnosed with prostate cancer or know someone who has, feel free to join us in the fight. These meetings will be free and open to the public.
Hi guys, it's Maria, the Healthy Rialto Coordinator, and today we are back with the vendor shoutouts, and we are shouting out Fabi's Bees. Today we are here with...
Fabiola Delgado.
So today's interview is going to be in Spanish, but don't worry, for all of our non-Spanish speakers, we will be adding subtitles. So without further ado, let's begin. ¿Cómo está?
Muy bien, gracias.
Okay, so la primera pregunta sería, ¿qué nos puede contar de su negocio?
Que lo empezamos poco más de 12 años. Nada más mi esposo y yo hemos trabajado en las abejas, con las abejas. Y hasta ahorita hemos seguido trabajando y pensamos seguir trabajando hasta que podamos.
Okay, ¿qué tipo de miel vende aquí?
Vendemos miel de flores de alfalfa, de flores silvestres y de flores de naranjo. Toda la miel es 100% pura, no tiene sabores, no tiene colores agregados. Si digo de flores de naranjo, es porque ponemos las abejas en los cultivos de naranjos, de ahí agarran el néctar para hacer la miel. Lo mismo de flores silvestres, están las abejas a lo largo del río y en las montañas, que es todo lo que nace silvestre, es de flores silvestres. La de flores de alfalfa igualmente, son cultivos enormes, cada cultivo de 60-80 acres, pura alfalfa. Y es de donde ellas agarran el néctar para hacer la miel. Por eso puedo diferenciar qué clase de miel es cada una. Sí, y nosotros trabajamos directamente con las abejas para hacer todo el proceso desde extractar la miel, quitar la miel de las colmenas, extractarla y envasar la miel.
Oh, wow. Aquí también miro en la mesa que tiene diferentes cosas,
Diferentes
productos que sean aparte de la miel. ¿Qué ofrece también?
Honeycomb, el polen, la cera y la crema y los chapsticks que están hechos a base de la cera de nuestras abejas.
So, todo de aquí es de las abejas con las que ustedes trabajan.
Sí, es de las abejas con las que trabajamos nosotros.
¿Tiene productos que se venden más o algo que la gente busca?
A veces se vende la de flores de naranjo, otras veces otra, pero siempre, unas veces es una, otras veces es otra miel. Pero siempre la miel la buscan mucho.
¿Depende de la temporada?
Sí, también depende mucho de la temporada. En temporada de fríos es cuando más se consume.
Para la gripa y todo eso, ¿verdad?
Gripa, la tos, los resfriados consumen mucha miel.
Qué bueno. Ok, ¿tiene algo interesante que nos puede contar del negocio?
¿Qué le podría contar? Que yo fui la de la idea. Siempre le estuve insistiendo a mi esposo en que compráramos abejas y él no quería, decía que hasta que hubiera un buen año o algo así. Yo nunca vamos a saber si va a ser un bueno o malo año, necesitamos tratar. Y yo tenía algo de dinero ahorrado y con eso fue con lo que empezamos. Dije, no, vamos a tratar, si se pierde, bueno, se perdió, pero vamos a tratar de hacer el negocio. Y de ese modo nos hicimos del negocio, porque yo estaba insistiendo y todo a esto porque tengo un hermano que es 4 años mayor que yo y él ya tiene probablemente más de 40 años haciendo esto. Entonces, y luego otro hermano ya tenía como 12 o 15 años también trabajando con abejas. Luego seguimos nosotros y yo le insistí a él, vamos haciendo abejas y vamos comprando abejas y tratando, vamos a tratar. Y después de nosotros, hace como 3 o 4 años empezó otro hermano también con abejas.
Sí.
Desde que va yendo la familia.
La familia, sí, ¿verdad? ¿Y cómo pueden encontrarlos a ustedes, a las personas que estén interesadas en comprar fuera de aquí del mercado?
En Instagram estamos en Rancho Cucamonga, en Terravista. Ahí también vendemos y en las montañas, en Crestline, Twin Peaks y Running Springs. Estamos en esas 3 marquetas también.
Ok, ¿y qué es su Instagram?
Fabi's Bees.
Fabi's Bees. ¿Y tiene como un tipo de suscripción o diferentes descuentos para la gente que viene y compra más de un frasco de miel?
Sí, cuando es más poquita el monto de la miel o la cantidad de miel es un poco más cara, pero conforme va creciendo el volumen de miel es menos. Por ejemplo, una libra cuesta $14. 3 libras en 30 cuando deberían de ser $42. Entonces, un galón trae 12 libras y son nada más $95, cuando 12 libras deberían de ser como 160 o más, no estoy segura, pero es bastante caro por libra. Pero ya en un galón es mucho más barato ahora. Una cubeta trae 5 galones. Si fueran por galón serían casi los $500, pero son solamente 280 por una cubeta. Entonces, entre más volumen compren de miel, es más barata.
Qué bueno. Pues muchas gracias por su tiempo. Aquí estuvimos con Fabi's Bees. And we will see you guys next week. Bye.
Bye.
Scott McAfee of Don's Bikes, and we are rooted in Rialto. The store's opened on April 1st, 1959, so 66 years ago, a long time, which is pretty wild. It was a little hole-in-the-wall store up the street at that point, and my dad pretty much ran it all by himself. And I'd say, you know, as a kid, I grew up in the business, so I would do a lot of the purchasing for him. I'd work on bikes, and I think at that point I got a rough idea of like how to run a small business. 5 days after my 18th birthday, my father passed away. He was actually riding his bicycle home. He had a heart attack and passed away. So I became a small business owner at 18. It was not what I planned on doing for a living. I was actually in college at the time and was getting my degree in psychology. I wanted to be a counselor, ended up getting my master's in counseling. And but we decided to keep the business because it was generating an income, was getting me through school. So we thought, okay, let's keep this thing. And we ended up moving down here at this current location in the early 80s. We just ran out of room. So we made the big leap and kind of tripled our size. And I remember it was pretty scary at that point, like, wow, are we gonna be able to afford this rent? You know, will the business accommodate that? And sure enough, it did. And we continued to grow. I started hiring people to run the business, to help run it. But we did several expansions at this location in Rialto. And then in 2012, we opened up our Redlands store, which is like 3 times the size of this place. And that took off like a rocket from day one. And here we are like 66 years later. It's one of those things, if my dad could see us now, he'd be blown away. Not only as far as the things we do, but just the depth and the difference of products that we offer now. Electric bikes are incredibly popular. We're actually selling electric motorcycles now, something I never thought I would be selling. We sell a lot of high-end carbon bikes that have electronic shifting. My bike has electronic shifting on it. We have entry-level bikes. I mean, if you want something for like 13 grand, we've got those. But if you're wanting more like an inexpensive bike just to commute back and forth to work, we do sell used bikes as well. So it's a variety, and there's a lot of different categories of riders. That's, I think, the thing that keeps me interested and motivated in this business. You just never know who or what you're going to work with next. It's a very, very diverse group of people, but what they all share in common, I think, is a love of cycling. And I see the expression on people's faces when if they've been off a bike for a while, when they come back from a little test ride, they've always got that smile on their face, like, wow, it's like being a kid again. So it's really cool. Our address is 384 South Riverside Avenue in Rialto. We're open from 10 till 6 Monday through Saturday, 11 to 4 on Sundays. Or you can go online to donsbikeshop.com. We do a lot of repair work. This place is crazy. On a weekend, we do a ton of repairs, so we have quite a few mechanics. I have 22 employees total. A lot of them are dedicated mechanics. This is what they do all day long. They fix other people's bikes. And we work on all kinds of bikes, not just the ones we sell, but pretty much bikes from all over the place. The cool thing about this business is it is about health, fitness, psychological health. You know, as I know, just getting a master's in counseling psychology, anything you can do to reduce stress is just a win-win. And so we are tied in with fitness, with health, with recreation, with community, with, you know, giving people groups to ride with. We do events with the city and we partner with them on a lot of different things. We do have the ride out for the teens. Rialto PD gives us an escort for that. We also had some really cool celebrities come out. These are people from the biking world from like the 80s, or kind of the stars, if you will, of the BMX world that came out to be part of our event. So, you know, we kind of been part of this community for a very long time. And, you know, when people have asked, well, why do I like to give back to my community? And it's because my community has given so much to me. And probably one of the favorite things I like about doing this is you get to really know people in this business. Kind of like a barber or a hairstylist where you talk to people and you get to know their stories. I mean, I had an exchange with a gentleman just this morning who shared some sorrow and some loss from a family member who passed away, but those are the kind of relationships we develop with people, and we've done so over literally decades. And it's just kind of cool because most businesses, they don't get to get that personal, I guess, with people, but that's probably my favorite thing, is just all the relationships, the friendships that we have made with all kinds of different people over the years.
To give your garden a boost while helping the planet? The City of Rialto has you covered. Rialto residents and businesses can pick up free mulch and compost, open to the public 24 hours a day. Located at 246 South Willow Avenue, in the South parking lot, Bring your shovel and container to this self-serve station and do your part to keep Rialto green. It's first come, first served. Transform your yard and support sustainability at the same time. For more information, call 909-820-2602 or visit www.rialtoca.gov. Proudly brought to you by the City of Rialto Public Works Department. And let's grow greener together.
When the earth shakes, the ground moves, and things start to fall, you'll ask yourself, how prepared or unprepared are you? Have you removed objects from over the bed and over your head? Anchored your possessions securely to the wall. It won't be a pain, and you're not doing it in vain. Are your emergency kits packed? What about your family, your friends? Do they know what to do, how to get in touch, and where to meet? Do you know how to drop, cover, and hold on, covering your head and neck? What if you're outside? Or in a car? After the shaking stops, look around. Figure out what to do. Stay away from damaged areas. Turn on a radio. Reach out for help. And if you're trapped, do not move about. Stay calm. Only shout as a last resort. Once everything and everyone is safe, get prepared. An aftershock could be on its way. So before the earth shakes, the ground moves, and things start to fall, get prepared. Make a plan. Practice what you know, because an earthquake can happen anytime, anywhere. You never know.
Earthquakes you see in movies are one thing, but real life is a completely different animal. Just because you can't predict an earthquake doesn't mean that you can't prepare for one. In the event of a real earthquake, you should drop, cover, and hold on. Visit ready.gov/earthquake and practice what to do to keep you and your family safe in the event of a real earthquake. And you'll be seen as a hero by your family and your loved ones.
When the earth shakes, the ground moves, and things start to fall, you'll ask yourself, how prepared or unprepared are you? Have you removed When the earth shakes, the ground moves, and things start to fall, you'll ask yourself, how prepared or unprepared are you? Have you removed objects from over the bed and over your head? Anchored your possessions securely to the wall. It won't be a pain, and you're not doing it in vain. Are your emergency kits packed? What about your family, your friends? Did they know what to do, how to get in touch, and where to meet? Do you know how to drop, cover, and hold on, covering your head and neck? What if you're outside? Or in a car? After the shaking stops, look around. Figure out what to do. Stay away from damaged areas. Turn on a radio. Reach out for help. And if you're trapped, do not move about. Stay calm. Only shout as a last resort. Once everything and everyone is safe, get prepared. An aftershock could be on its way. So before the earth shakes, the ground moves, and things start to fall, get prepared. Make a plan. Practice what you know, because an earthquake can happen anytime, anywhere. You never know.
Hello, I'm Grace, and I am here at the Rialto Farmers Market second Wednesday of every month, and we are part of the Healthy Rialto initiative, just trying to get recipes out to the people and show them what to do with the different ingredients from our farmers, highlighting a different farmer every month. And yeah, we welcome you to join us at noon on the second Wednesday of every month. Come try out some recipes. Today we made a pesto pasta salad. We used dandelion and alfalfa and pumpkin seeds. And we also made a licuado, a smoothie. And in this we used nopales and pineapple. And one of our vendors makes sea moss. So we added some sea moss to that. So yeah, don't miss out. We'll be out here. Come join us.
Hi, good morning everyone. My name is Lynn Brown Summers, and I am a master gardener and master food preserver with the County of San Bernardino. I am with one of the 3 community gardens here that is in the city of Rialto. Here we teach free classes, we are stewards of the land, and we just would like to invite everyone to come out and learn a little bit about gardening and all the volunteer opportunities. So welcome to Rialto's Community Garden.
What brought me here was the food prices are kind of going up. So me and my girlfriend are trying to figure out the self-sustainability. So this is one good way. I mean, if you're interested, there's a community here, there's classes, take advantage.
Have you heard about Senate Bill 1383? The California Senate passed a law to improve air quality and reduce greenhouse gas emissions. This new California law will require all residents to participate in the food waste recycling program. How does it work? Residential customers will begin placing their bagged food waste into their green barrel along with their green waste. Food waste collection is already part of your service. We just ask that it is sorted differently. What is food waste? Fruits, eggshells, bread, rinds, cooked meat and seafood, bones, vegetables, food soiled paper, coffee grounds, and plate scrapings are all considered food waste. How will it work in your home? You will begin collecting food waste in its own plastic-lined container, separate from your other waste and recycling. We encourage you to use containers you may already have, such as coffee cans, small buckets, bins, or small waste baskets. We recommend a container with a lid to reduce odor. Place your container on your countertop, under your sink, or even in your freezer. Remember to bag all food waste, regardless of how you choose to collect it. We encourage you to reuse bags you may already have, such as bread bags or produce bags. Bags do not need to be compostable or biodegradable. Once full, please secure your plastic bag and place it in your green waste barrel. Please continue to use your green waste barrel as usual. Some items are not acceptable. This includes trash, metal, liquids, batteries, hazardous waste, electronic waste, animal waste, diapers, glass, and paint. Once collected, your food waste will be sorted and processed for composting at one of our material recovery facilities, where it will be turned into mulch, soil amendments, and landscaping material. Your efforts go a long way in closing the loop on sustainability and reducing waste in California. Thank you for doing your part.
Exciting news for Rialto residents. The City of Rialto has partnered with Rattle Tech to bring you the My Rialto app, available now on Android and iPhone. Need to report an issue like a pothole? Just tap Report Issue, choose Potholes, write a brief description, snap a photo, and the app will automatically fill in the location for you. Want to stay updated? Add your contact info or submit it anonymously. It's that easy. Paying city bills just got easier. The My Rialto app links you to all of the City of Rialto's services right at your fingertips. Looking for information on sandbags, park shelters, or community resources? The City Info section has everything you need, all in one place. And check out our newest feature, QR code scanning. If you see a City of Rialto QR code on city property, like near our beautiful drought-tolerant landscaping, just scan it with your camera or the app to learn more. Your city, your voice, your app. Download the My Rialto app today.
You know the Rialto City Clerk's Office provides passport services? Located at 290 West Rialto Avenue, walk-in service is available to the public, Monday through Thursday, from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. No appointment necessary. Applying for a new passport requires the following. It's important to note each applicant must be present. For children age 15 and under, this includes both parents. Fill out a DS-11 form for each individual. Here's some important notes. You must use black ink and complete the designated boxes only. Note that DS-11 forms are available upon request. You must fill out the parent information section, even if you are an adult applying for yourself. Do not use whiteout if you make a mistake, and do not sign the application until instructed to do so by the acceptance agent. Each applicant must have evidence of U.S. citizenship. Acceptable documents include an original birth certificate or certificate of naturalization. This will be submitted with your application and mailed back to you at a later date. Proof of identity will also need to be established with a valid driver's license or identification card. Both parents will be required to show their IDs as a means of identification for their children. A recent passport photo will need to be submitted with the application. You can have your picture taken inside for a fee of $12. 2 separate payments will need to be made when you submit your application. The first payment is the application fee, payable to the U.S. Department of State using check or money order only. The second payment is for the execution fee, made payable to the City of Rialto using check, money order, cash, or credit card. You can find current fees at rialtoca.gov by searching for passport services or scanning the QR code for a direct link to the page. If there are multiple applicants in the same family, you'll need to submit separate payments for each application. And that's it. You're ready to apply. If you are renewing your passport, keep in mind you can renew by mail, only if you can answer yes to these 5 requirements about your current passport. Number 1, you have your passport in your possession to submit with a DS-82 application. Remember, the city clerk's office can provide you with a form upon request. Number 2, your passport is undamaged other than normal wear and tear. Number 3, your passport was issued when you were age 16 or older. This means minor passports are not eligible. Number 4, your passport has been valid for 10 years. And number 5, your passport was issued in your current name, or you can document your name change. If you answered no to any statement, you must apply in person. If you have to apply in person, follow the steps to get a new passport. If you meet the 5 requirements, you can renew by mail with the submission of your current passport, DS-82 form, a recent passport photo, and your payment. For further questions regarding passport services, contact the Rialto City Clerk's office at 909-820-2519 or visit the office located at 290 West Rialto Avenue. Normal business hours are Monday through Thursday from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. We are here to serve you.
Great Shakeout earthquake drills remind you to drop, cover, and hold on to protect yourself during an earthquake in most situations. Let's practice what to do if a sturdy desk or table is nearby. When you feel shaking, immediately drop down onto your hands and knees. An earthquake is less likely to knock you over in this position, and you're a smaller target for anything falling or flying. Then, cover your head with your arms. Clasp your hands around your neck. Bend over to protect your vital organs. If you can move safely and a sturdy desk or table is nearby, keep one arm over your head as you crawl to additional shelter. Finally, hold on by gripping a table leg or other part of your shelter. Continue protecting your head and neck with your other arm. Remain on your knees and bent over, ready to move with your shelter when it shifts during the shaking. Close your eyes and mouth to protect against dust and debris. Remain in this position until the shaking stops. After the shaking is over, wait a moment and check all around and above you before getting up or leaving your shelter. Register at shakeout.org to practice earthquake safety with millions of people worldwide and to see videos showing what to do in a variety of situations.
Hey Rialto, my name is Maria from the City of Rialto's Parks, Recreation, and Community Services Department, and I'm excited to share some awesome news with you. We're thrilled to announce the completion of the resurfacing project at Rialto City Park, reinforcing our City Council's commitment to maintaining high-quality public spaces that meet the needs of our families. As a family-first community, we believe that well-maintained, safe, and accessible parks foster a stronger sense of togetherness and community pride. So, what's new? First, check out these bold, vibrant colors. Not only do they look amazing, but they're designed for better visibility and to bring energy and enthusiasm. These colors reflect our city's identity and our dedication to providing top-tier recreation and amenities. Plus, we've introduced Rialto's first ever pickleball courts. As part of the project, one of the tennis courts has been converted into 4 designated pickleball courts, giving our residents a fun new way to stay active. There's still more. We added our City of Rialto's Parks and Rec logo to the basketball courts and extended the fence between the pickleball and tennis courts to enhance the experience of our players. Interested in playing on the pickleball and tennis courts? Visit the Rialto Fitness and Aquatic Center for access. The basketball court is open for public use, so come in and shoot some hoops. We know that recreation plays a vital role in building a healthy and active community. That's why we continue to work towards keeping our parks, recreational facilities, and gathering places to a high standard that enhances the quality of life for our residents. This project was made possible by funding through department funds and the California Prop 68 per capita grant program. At the City of Rialto, we take pride in shaping a thriving and innovative recreational landscape, ensuring that our city keeps pace with growth while maintaining high standards our council desires and our residents deserve. We are committed to the future of Rialto, where families thrive, public spaces inspire, and recreation brings people together. We can't wait to see you at the courts.
What do you think about the new courts? Awesome. Love the fiberglass backboard. And I was here the other day when they were painting it. So yeah, but I got to come with my son and shoot some hoop.
It's impressive. You know, they did a great job with them. And the colors, I love the colors.
They're so vibrant and welcoming. It's like you just want to come and buy a new basketball. I love them.
Gets your attention right away, and it's very nice to see that the city's actually doing something for the park. It's a really nice upgrade.
I like how you can raise a court, you can make it high. I mean lower and higher for the littler kids. I like everything about it. I like the environment. I like how it's gated up for the kids. I like it. Shout out to Rialto. Y'all doing y'all big one.
I think about the courts is fire, and thank you for our community.
Nice.
I think about the court is that I love it so much. This is every hooper's dream, and thank God for everything.
Nice.
Ooh.
What do you think? You like them?
Fire.
Yeah, you fire?
Yes.
All right, you guys want to shoot? Yeah, go.
I'm gonna shoot a half court. Hey, I'm gonna shoot the half.
The City of Rialto's upgraded permitting center is a seamless, user-friendly experience for permit applications, business license requests, and secure online payments. Designed for efficiency, transparency, and convenience, this platform is built to service residents, contractors, and city staff alike. Everything you need all in one place. Check out this introduction video to the new online permit center coming June 2nd.
Welcome to Civic Access, the online customer access portal for the City of Rialto. This introduction will navigate you through the various online services and functions offered by the City of Rialto. As a guest visiting the site, you will be able to pay invoices, search for records, and view scheduled inspections. If you are a registered user, you will have access to see more information about your applications and records, and even apply for certain development applications. To log in, click Login or Register in the top right corner of the page, or with the tile in the center of the screen. If you have not registered for Civic Access, please create an account prior to logging in. After successfully logging in, you will see additional tabs and functionality. The first tab is the Home page. This will bring you back to the main page again from wherever you are in the website. The next tab is the Apply tab. This is where you can apply for available online permit, plan, and business license applications. After clicking Apply, you will be automatically redirected to the city's decision engine, which is a guided application to help you find the correct permit, plan, or business license application to apply for. The next tab is the Dashboard. In the dashboard, you will be able to see the progress of your permit and plan applications that you've submitted to the city. You will also be able to view all of your inspections and their associated statuses. Your dashboard will also show your open invoices. You can make payments by adding them to your cart and making a payment with a credit card. If you have business licenses with the city, they will be listed at the bottom of the dashboard screen.
To order. The City Council, City of Rialto, the acting successor agency to the redevelopment agency, the Rialto Utilities Authority, the Rialto Housing Authority will come to session at this point. We'll open up, we'll start with roll call. Will the clerk please call the roll? And that clock is 1 minute behind our watches all say 6:30, so that's why we hit the gavel.
Mayor Baca.
Present.
Mayor Pro Tem Scott.
Present.
Councilmember Caracellis.
Present.
Councilmember Perez.
Present.
Councilmember Montoya.
Present.
City Treasurer Ed Correa.
Present.
City Attorney Eric Vell.
Present.
City Manager Tanya Williams.
Thank you very much, Madam Clerk. At this time, if all of you would please stand up for the Pledge of Allegiance. And I have the privilege of leading the flag salute, so if you could place your hand over your heart and begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. If you can remain standing at this time, we'll have the invocation by Victor Lopez from the Calvary Chapel of Rialto.
Let's pray. Precious Lord, we thank you for today. What a mighty privilege it is to gather as your people and bring before you, Lord, these things that we need to consider. We truly are privileged. We have people of all walks of life, all ages here in this room, and we want to conduct the business of the city. Lord, we thank you for the leadership appointed and elected. We thank you for them. We know that they pour out hours of work. They dedicate their time. They give us their intellect. They also give us their heart, Lord, as they invest into the matters that are good for the people and the community. We pray for your blessing. We call upon you. We recognize that our education can only accomplish so much, but there is so much wisdom that comes from you that needs to come into play when it comes to leading your people and your city. You have been so good, and you will therefore continue to be good. So, Lord, we thank you for today, and we praise you in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Thank you. At this time, we'll call on our city attorney to report on closed session.
Thank you, Mayor. There were 4 items on your closed session this evening. The first was a conference with legal counsel with regard to one item of existing litigation. You did give direction to the city attorney's office with regard to that item. There was no other reportable action on that item. Your second item was a conference with legal counsel with regard to 4 items of anticipated litigation. Those were all workers' compensation claims. You gave direction to special counsel and to your human resources manager with regard to each one of those. There was no other reportable action on that item. Your third item was a conference with legal counsel with regard to a decision whether to initiate litigation. You had a report from special counsel on that item, gave direction to special counsel, but you did not decide to initiate litigation in that action at this time. And then finally, you had a conference with your real property negotiators with regard to the item of property. The City Council reconfirmed its previous direction to staff with regard to that property. There was no other reportable action on that item. Thank you.
Thank you very much. With that, then we'll move on to, before we move on to the proclamations, I'd just like to introduce one of our guests that's present with us. He's on the West Valley Water Board, and that's Dan Jenkins, the chair, from the Water Board. Thank you very much for coming. And before I call on the presentations and proclamation, I'd just like to recognize the Rialto girls basketball team for going undefeated in league for the 6th consecutive time, and so they'll be going to CIF. So congratulations to the Rialto girls basketball team. With that, I'd like to now move on to presentations in reference to ultrasound program. Call on our chief, Chief Jensen.
Thank you, Mayor. Tonight, our emergency services coordinator, Kevin Dearden, will be presenting on the ultrasound device that we currently use in the field here in Rialto. Mr. Dearden is our San Bernardino County Fire Chief's EMS Officer Board President. He also sits on the Inland County's Emergency Medical Agency Committee as a board member, as well as our San Bernardino County Institutional Review Board for upcoming medical trials, which keeps us at the forefront of field medicine and equipment, which you'll hear about tonight. Thank you, Mayor, and Kevin Dearden.
Okay.
Thank you, Chief Jensen, Mr. Mayor, members of the City Council. The Rialto Fire Department has a strong history of innovation in emergency medical services. Over the years, our department has participated in numerous clinical trial studies, introducing new life-saving medications into the field, helping reimagine how cardiac arrest care is delivered, and continually evaluating emergency practices that improve patient outcomes. Today, we continue to that commitment by taking a diagnostic tool traditionally used inside hospitals and placing it directly into the hands of our paramedics in the pre-hospital environment. It's my honor to introduce our medical director, Dr. Michael Nieke, whose medical leadership and close collaboration with our EMS division help ensure these innovative programs are implemented safely, effectively, and in alignment with current medical standards. Working together with Dr. Nieke, we have developed and implemented a pre-hospital ultrasound program designed to enhance patient assessment and treatment during emergency responses. This clinical study focuses on utilizing ultrasound technology in the field for patients experiencing traumatic injuries to the abdomen and chest, as well as those suffering cardiac arrest. By integrating these advanced diagnostic capabilities into our frontline care, paramedics are able to identify critical conditions earlier and make faster, more informed treatment decisions. The program is already demonstrating positive results. Since implementation, Rialto Fire paramedics have captured multiple diagnostic ultrasound images that directly contributed to clinical treatment decisions immediately upon patient arrival at the hospitals. These early findings allow hospital teams to prepare specialized interventions sooner, improving continuity of care and strengthening outcomes for our residents. Rialto Fire is currently one of 4 agencies in the region participating in this study. Through the partnership between medical direction and the expertise of our EMS division, this program reflects the City of Rialto's continued leadership in progressive, evidence-based emergency medical care and our ongoing commitment to protecting the health and safety of our community. Joining us today are several of our paramedics who are utilizing the technology directly during emergency responses. They have brought the handheld ultrasound device with them to demonstrate how a relatively small piece of equipment can have a significant impact on patient care, decision-making, and outcomes in the field. At this time, we have asked Dr. Nieke to come forward and share a few remarks on the clinical importance of this program and what it means for patient care to the citizens of Rialto. Dr. Nieke.
Thank you, Kevin. Honorable member of the city, Mr. Mayor, Chief Kling, it's an honor to be here. It is my probably 18 years of cooperation with the City Police Department and 15 years at least as a medical director for the fire department. We have gone a long way. We have always been pro-technology. And if I want to get sick or any family member needs something, this will be the city and the team that should take care of someone. It's just amazing what they do. Our preliminary data actually shows that we are 90% accurate in the field with the EMS using the ultrasound devices. And we have just published a preliminary data in Journal of Military Medicine, comparing our data with our military physicians and providers in the field, in the arena, in the international arena. So I want to thank you for your support. This is an expansion of what we could do and offer to the citizens of this city. And believe it or not, the entire United States and the world are looking at these, ladies and gentlemen, in the EMS services to learn from that and expand on their experiences. Our next, I want to also give you the future of it. Beside the ultrasound, we're going to move on to having a blood product to be able to transfuse in pre-hospital to save more lives, and that would be the future of the technologies that we are hoping to bring into the city of Rialto. Again, I appreciate your support, and thank you again for being so proactive about improving the medical care for your citizens. I appreciate that.
Thank you very much. That concludes. Thank you very much, and thank all of you, for the work. And I'd like to thank the fire department for continuing to care about our citizens in the city of Rialto and reacting. And the ultrasound is one step in terms of having the technology that we need, and hopefully that we can look at the blood package that also can be done too, as well as we look towards having the city of Rialto making sure that we can provide emergency service to individuals, save a life, treat a patient, and take care of them. So thank you very much for looking, and we look forward to being innovative in having the best equipment that we can provide for our fire department and, of course, our police department, too, as well. Thank you very much. That concludes the presentation of proclamation. So at this time, do we have any oral communications?
Yes, we have two.
We have two.
Can I ask Phil Walls?
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Thank you for having me here this evening. My name is Phil Walls. I'm with the United States Small Business Administration. We are in town right now because our administration has responded to the state's request for disaster declaration due to the storms that occurred from December 16th to the 26th. And I'm going to look at my notes here because we just got in town yesterday and not quite up to speed on everything by memory. But due to those storms that occurred between December 16th and 26th, a disaster declaration has been issued for San Bernardino County and all of the surrounding counties. What that does is it makes available small business disaster loans for businesses, homeowners, renters, businesses, and nonprofits that suffered damage related to the storm. This could be damage to structures in the case of any of those groups, and then possessions, whether it is business equipment, business material, goods, and then on the homeowner and renter side, the contents of their home, and in the case of renters, their possessions, to include automobiles and things like that. The disaster loans makes it possible for those disaster survivors to recover their business or their home using low interest loans that are very flexible with terms up to 30 years and interest rates as low as 2.85% for homeowners and renters, as low as 4% for businesses, and as low as 3.8% for nonprofits. Those loans are issued upon approval with no payments or interest for the first year, which will allow those businesses and those individuals to recover more quickly without having that burden of that payment for the first year. We've opened a disaster loan outreach center in Oak Hills, and we're going to be doing pop-up events around the county over the next few months. I should talk briefly about limits. So homeowners can borrow up to $500,000 to replace or repair the structure and the property surrounding it. Homeowners and renters can also borrow up to $100,000 to replace their possessions that were in the home. Businesses can borrow up to $2 million to replace to repair the structure or replace equipment and the like, and nonprofits as well. The one thing to consider is that there is a deadline. The deadline for physical damage, so that's homes or businesses, the physical damage to the property is April 6th. And the deadline for businesses to apply for loans due to economic injury is November 9th. And what that is losses that occur to the business as a result of perhaps having to shut down or not having a supplier available. So things that interrupted the normal flow of business. And those economic injury loans can be used to support the day-to-day operation of the business, whether it's payroll, bills, things like that. So individuals can apply for those loans by visiting the Disaster Loan Outreach Center that I mentioned, and also online at sba.gov/disaster. What we are asking of the city is to help us get that word out to your residents and businesses. So what I'll do after this meeting is make contact and send some information that we'd like you to share. And then the second ask is any information you'd have for us, whether it be events that you're hosting or that other organizations are hosting to promote and support that recovery that we might be able to participate in, and just any other avenues or methods for making people aware of this resource so that we can work together to support the community as people recover. That's all I have for you this evening. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Phil. If you can, possibly get together even with our Parks Recreation Director, because she does a lot of events that are going on in the area that can be disseminated. And then we have our market that's open up on Wednesdays here too as well, that you might want to contact Barbara McGee here and get information that she might be able to put out there on Wednesdays as well. And then, of course, the Chamber of Commerce and whatever we can do to let the public know that this is available for them, whether it's a homeowner or a renter as well. Thank you very much, Phil. Next.
We have Gomez. Yes.
Hello, my name is Rigoberto Gomez. I've been living in Rialto for almost more than half of my life. I put a notice in here. I just put it like unwelcome, myself, and because I've been here, but I never see so many beautiful faces, and I was never tried to be in this place, but for some reason I was thinking, they have a meeting today, so let me go and say hello to each one of us, and I just want to share with you, it's been so blessed to be living in Rialto for, it's gonna be 34 years already, and I know several faces in here. Mrs. Barbara, I know for a long time, almost same time like I hear Mr. Baca, also, I know him for a while. So I just want to, it's a lot of needs in the community sometimes, but I'm one of them. It's very quiet, and I don't share communication because I like to be private. But that's why the reason I kind of pushing myself to come in here, to meet each one of you. So I'm looking forward to stay here forever. My dad, he helped me to purchase my property 1992, and so he loved it, and he blessed me to put me a little down payment to get my house in, and I'm still here. So, I just love to be here forever, whatever years, the God can glad to give me. Thank you, and thank you for receiving us. My mom and maybe she's gonna be the future in here, looking forward, my little one. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you very much for coming and sharing your comments, and Rialto is on the move and will continue to be on the move to make our communities a lot better too as well. Thank you. With that, that concludes the, okay, then we'll move on to the items on the agenda. You didn't sign in, but you go ahead if you want to come up and state your name.
Hey, City Council, hey, Mayor. My name is Isaac Bobadilla. I am a resident of Rialto. I was curious on what your thoughts would be on raising the minimum wage in Rialto.
You want to answer that? You're just making a comment at this point.
Oh, you can't give me thoughts on that?
No, Mayor, the council doesn't engage in a dialogue. You can ask questions to staff, but not to the members of the public. We don't engage in debate on those issues.
Oh, it's not a debate. It's just their thoughts.
I think we comply with the minimum wages in the city of Rialto. We, with each and every one of the departments that people work for. And with that, that tells you that we are complying in terms of the minimum wages. Okay? Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay. Seeing that there's no other comments or people raising their hands, at this point we'll go into the consent items.
Mr. Mayor?
Yes.
I'd like to ask tonight that we adjourn tonight's meeting in memory of Winnie Hansen, former council member for the city of Rialto for many years. She passed away at the age of 90 on January the 15th. So if we could please close in memory of former council member Winnie Hansen.
Seeing that there's no objection, I think it's a consensus of everybody on the diocese that we adjourn in memory of Winnie Hansen, who was 90 years of age. Thank you very much for bringing that up, Mayor Pro Tem. Ed Scott. Seeing that, then we'll move on now to the consent items. Any individual can remove any item from the agenda. Is there anyone that would like to move any item from the consent item?
I'd like to pull F3 for comment and discussion.
F3 will be pulled and will be brought up first amongst the tab items. Hearing other.
Consent calendar, if you want to let him talk about it and then vote on it all.
Okay, if you'd like
It's
to.
all the consent calendar.
Okay, would you like to?
Yeah, so I could start. We are requesting an additional $95,000 for temporary employees. The initial request was $55,000. However, due to the continued vacancy and ongoing operational needs, the balance is insufficient to cover us until or throughout fiscal year 25-26. Now, this would give us a total of $150,000. However, it's stated in the staff report that the total is $190,000. That's $40,000 off, for one. But two, my concern is that we are paying temporary employees 3 times the going rate for these positions. What is the issue with getting these positions filled, for one? What is the reason for the significant turnover as stated in the staff report? I don't understand.
Will the city manager please respond?
Sure. So the mathematical error is an error on staff part. So I apologize for that. Maybe we can get an estimate that's correct from our finance team as to what the request would be. In terms of the recruitment, I'll turn it over to my Director of Human Resources, Sean McCurian, to respond to that.
Good evening, Mayor. So the position, the Human Resources and Risk Management Department partners with each of the departments to run the recruitment process. The process currently for this position of office specialist has an eligibility list. They are moving through the eligibility list with this vacancy. However, with the fact that they need someone right away, they thought it would be best to have someone from the temp agency at this point.
Okay, is there any objection to that? And if not, then can our finance director just make an amendment to the one correction to the, can we make a correction, add the 40,000 to that? Or, pardon me?
I'm not sure what Councilmember Montoya is referring to here. The increase of the purchase order would take it to the total of $190,000. As far as answering questions regarding vacancies and what's caused the turnover, back in April of '25, we had an individual that left for maternity leave and didn't return. And then we had a resignation back in March as well. And we've been trying to fill those positions since then. And we've worked with HR. They've provided a list of folks that are been pre-qualified or vetted. And we go through those lists and we do our interviews. And unfortunately, that as we interview some of these individuals and have eliminated and exhausted those lists, most of them is because they don't have the minimum qualifications they're missing qualifications like basic cashiering experience, accounting, some basic accounting experience, and some even lack mathematics skills that is required in order to be able to handle that position. But we're working through those lists. We're following the process. HR has provided us those lists, and then once we've exhausted those lists and we can't hire somebody from there, then they will open it for recruitment and post a job. But meanwhile, we need to continue to fill those positions. We just recently filled one of the vacancies with a permanent hire, so we still have one open position that's being filled with through Robert Half, a temp agency. So once we get that position opened and posted, hopefully that we're going to be able to identify an individual that we can hire on a permanent basis.
What about the question that he asked in reference to underestimating by 40,000? Is that what you're correct, right?
That is correct. What I meant by that was the initial request was 55,000. This new request is 95,000, which would bring a total to 150,000. However, the staff report states the total is up to 190,000.
Okay, I understand.
So
what
it's
you're
just it's just a clerical error, is what city manager was saying.
saying. Well, I don't know if HR can respond to that, but this not only just covers that specific position. This is for all temps, correct? For Robert Half,
That is correct.
Right, the purchase order. So that's
the Robert Half contract
would increase
fill.
it to the 190,000. Now, it's not just specifically for the treasurer's office. This is for the entire city.
I understand that, but what I'm saying is that the new request is requesting 95,000, which I understand that.
Right.
The initial request was 55,000, which would bring it to 150.
Got it.
Yeah, so
But the total stated is 190.
if the council moves to approve this item, we can amend the motion to state that the total PO then would be for just the 150.
So that was just the smaller part of what I was getting at. But my main concern was these positions pay approximately $21, $22 an hour, but we're paying $65 all the way up to $92 an hour.
Right. So-
That's kind of how I broke it down.
The base pay might be the $22,000 or $22 an hour, or whatever, but then
Correct.
you include
Correct.
benefits and health and everything else is that. But
And that was
again,
my
this is who we
concern.
contract with.
Yeah,
the
there's an
Robert Half.
overhead cost
Got it.
associated with Robert Half.
Right.
Got it.
Okay.
Yeah, that was my concern. And I wanted to just make sure it was known.
So is there an adjustment on the?
If there's no objection, yes, go ahead.
I
Mayor
think
Pro
one
Tem
of the
Scott.
things that the council member's trying to get at is, we're not a council that likes contract employees. So whatever we need to do to get you the right people on board, we should be clearly doing, and get
And we are
permanent
doing
employees
that,
in.
but we have to follow the process,
No,
which is
and
eliminating the
and we
list
get
so on.
that, we get that, but we're always concerned when items come up that are contract employees. The other issue that I have is that to me, this should have been a tab item. It's a large dollar amount, and it should have been a tab item. Thank you.
If there's no objection with the amendment said, is there any objections with you at this point? That we can include it in the consent item, since we've discussed it now?
It can be included in the consent item if amended.
Okay. Is there's any objection, is there a motion to accept the consent items?
So moved with the amendment of cover to state 150,000 as opposed to 190,000 for F3.
Second.
Seconded by, motion was made by Councilmember Carla Perez, seconded by Mayor Pro Tem Ed Scott. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposition? Hearing none, the consent item is approved. Now we'll move on to the tab items. We'll start with tab 1.
Good evening, Mayor, Mayor Pro Tem, and members of the City Council. This evening, I request that the City Council conduct a public hearing regarding the proposed annexation of territory into the Rialto Landscape and Lighting District Number 2. The city conditions development projects to construct parkway and/or median landscaping, to install streetlights. Annexations into the LMD2 is a condition of the city's acceptance of any publicly maintained landscape or street lighting. This evening, the staff is recommending the following development project to be annexed into LMD2. This is a non-residential annexation, PPD 2023-0025. This development consists of one parcel proposed for commercial development on 3.96 acres. This is located west of Riverside Avenue and south of Santa Ana Avenue. This is a protest ballot proceeding for the proposed levy of new assessments as described in the engineer's report included in attachment 1. On January the 13th of 2026, the City Council adopted resolution number 8443, setting a public hearing to consider the annexation into Rialto Landscape and Lighting District number 2 for this evening, February 10th, 2026. Subsequently, the city mailed the notices to the official property owners on record. At this time, I would request that the City Council conduct the public hearing and take public testimony regarding the proposed annexations and tabulate the ballot received. Adopt Resolution 8464, declaring the results of the property owner protest ballot proceedings, and adopt Resolution 8465, confirming the engineer's report regarding the annexation of properties into the Landscape and Lighting District number 2 and levy of annual assessments and ordering the levy and collection of the assessments. This concludes my report, and representatives from Webb Municipal Finance and I are available for any questions.
Thank you. This is a public hearing. Is there any discussion from anyone in the public?
Move to close the public hearing.
Motion's been made to close the public hearing. Motion made by Mayor Pro Tem Ed Scott, seconded by Councilmember Edward Montoya. All those in favor of closing the public hearing signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any oppositions? Hearing none. Okay. Now we'll open it up for any discussions or the counting of the ballots.
Mayor Pro Tem and Council, I have one ballot, and they are in support of APN 02581210900000. That's your APN number.
Okay, that's the only ballot that we received?
Yes, signed
Okay.
and it's supported, yes, in
Okay.
support.
Mayor Pro Tem Scott.
Mr. Mayor, move approval of Resolution 8464 and Resolution 8465.
Second.
Motion's been made by Mayor Pro Tem Ed Scott, seconded by Andy Caraceres. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposition? Hearing none, motion carries. Thank you very much. We'll move on to tab 2.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, Mayor Pro Tem, members of City Council. Yaz Amrani, your Public Works Director, here to present on the item tab number 2 for replacing the bay doors at the fire stations 203 and 204 in the amount of $495,000. The current doors at these two stations are basically have become increasingly unreliable for the operations of the fire department. And
Move approval of
Second.
Resolution 8466.
Second. Any discussion? I'd just like to say that I think it's good that we're moving and responding quickly, because it's important that we provide a safety ways and means to individuals, because this is a matter of life and death. And having this done as an emergency situation is what we need to do, is to continue to improve our fire department, and this is one way of doing it too as well. So with that, any other discussion or comments? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposition? Hearing none. Motion was made by Mayor Pro Tem Ed Scott, seconded by the mayor. Just for the record.
Oh, okay.
We'll move on to tab 3.
Tab 3 is for reconstruction of Resource Drive. This is a road that we received several claims and complaints because of the extensive alligator cracking and other a lot of potholes that has existed. So we are moving forward with the construction. The design was done. This has a PCI, pavement condition index, of 15, which is total failure of that segment. And the city is, well, the staff is recommending an award of construction contract to Vance Corporation in the amount of $1,422,870 for the construction, and a task order for the $93,482.46 with Onward Engineering. The request for bids was issued for this project, and on December 4th, there were 11 bids that were received, with the lowest bid being the Vance Corporation's. And we also sent out requests for cost proposals to all of our on-call construction management and inspection groups. We received 3 proposals back, and Onwards was the lowest at $93,482.46. So with that, this is our recommendation to move forward with the award of the contract to both of these entities, and I'd be happy to answer any questions. And we also have representatives from Onward and Vance Corporation here if you have any questions.
Okay, is there any questions? If none, do you?
Move approval.
Motion's been made by Mayor Pro Tem Ed Scott, seconded by Carla Perez. I'd just like to state thank you very much for going out for bids. That's one of the concerns that was mentioned at one of our last meetings, is that we went out for bids, and some of it, we noticed that there was 11 for one and 3 on the other, so thank you very much. With that, all those in favor, if there's no other discussion, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposition? Motion carries. We'll move on to tab 4.
So this item before you is for improvements around Frisbee Middle School, and this includes ADA compliant curb ramps, sidewalk and curb improvements, enhanced pedestrian crossing with rectangular rapid flashing beacons, or RRFBs, pavement markings, and other safety features. And for this project, we went to RFPs on the end of October of last year. On December 4th, we received 21 bids, and the lowest bid was by CT&T Concrete Paving for the amount of $650,256. Similar to the previous item, we also asked for cost proposal from all of our on-call construction management and inspection group. We received 3 proposals, with Specs Engineering Group being the lowest at $79,888. So with that, we are recommending approval of this, and I'd be happy to answer any questions.
First, can I have the city attorney to announce that I guess council member has a conflict? Well, I can have it for the record, because I'm pretty much.
Did he announce the basis of his conflict?
No, but.
So the record can show that as he's advanced before, he's recused himself based on his belief that he has a conflict of interest related to his property ownership. with regard to the district.
Thank you.
We have member Andy Condesetas that stepped out, did not recuse himself from it, but I believe that he wanted to, but stepped out.
But for the record, the city attorney did it for the record.
Right.
Thank you.
Any other discussion? All those in favor? First of all, I need a motion.
Move approval.
Motion's been made by Mayor Pro Tem Ed Scott, seconded by Councilmember Edward Montoya. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposition? Hearing none, motion carries. We'll move on to tab 5.
Yes, good evening, Honorable Mayor, Mayor Pro Tem, members of the City Council. Thank you for the opportunity to present for the Council's consideration a request for authorization for the issuance of the City of Rialto Community Facilities District 2024-1 Renaissance Special Tax Bonds Series 2026. This is for issuance of bonds with an estimated par value of approximately $10.5 million. So by way of review, the council formed this CFD in July 2024, and it is for the purpose of financing for public improvements and fees to the city. Just a couple of highlights of the CFD, and there are more stats available if requested, but this CFD is comprised of 429 taxable residential units, and it currently has 140 finished lots.
Sorry to interrupt. I am going to be recusing myself from this tab due to my business at the Renaissance Marketplace. Sorry for the interruption. I was in the restroom and came back after. Thank you.
So this first round of special tax bonds proposed this evening, as noted, par amount of approximately $10.5 million. The proceeds will be for the same purposes as other CFDs, capital facilities for the city, including payment of impact fees. This will fund a debt service reserve and pay for the cost of issuance. So the debt service from these bonds is paid from special tax levy on real property within the CFD boundary. So this evening is recommended that the council approve issuance of the 10.5 million bonds, fiscal agent agreement, continuing disclosure agreement, bond purchase agreement, and preliminary official statement, authorizing the officers of the city, city manager and myself, to execute any and all documents, take appropriate actions to prepare and the issuance of these bonds. So that concludes our report. And our entire finance team is here and available for any questions. That includes Fieldman, our advisors, Jones Hall for bond counsel, and Piper Sandler for underwriting, should the council have any questions.
Are there any questions from members of the council? Mayor Pro Tem
I just
Scott?
want to have a clarification for the record. These bonds are strictly related to the homes being built by Lennar up in the Renaissance project, correct?
That's correct.
And they're only related to those houses that are built in that specific area?
That's correct, within that
Okay,
district.
Thank you.
Make a motion.
Move approval.
Motion's been made by Councilwoman Carla Perez, seconded by Mayor Pro Tem Ed Scott. And
May I ask the motion, make a motion to read the resolution into the record, please?
Yes. Motion to adopt resolution number 8467, authorizing the issuance of special tax bonds for and on behalf of Community Facilities District number 2024-1, Renaissance, approving and directing the execution of a fiscal agent agreement and bond purchase agreement, approving the form of preliminary official statement, approving the sales of such bonds, and approving other related documents and actions.
Thank you.
Okay, a motion's been made, it's been seconded. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposition? Hearing none, motion carries. We'll move on to tab number 6.
Good evening, Honorable Mayor, Mayor Pro Temp, and City Council members. The item before you tonight is consideration for award of contract to George Hills Company for general liability claims administration services in amount not to exceed $253,503.25, and authorize the city manager to execute all contract documents. In October, the city released a request for proposals.
Move approval.
Motion's been made by Mayor Pro Tem Ed Scott, seconded by Councilmember Carla Perez. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. I believe he could come in and voted on this if he
But
wanted to.
we already did the vote.
Okay, so, all right, motion carries. Thank you. That concludes the items on the agenda. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposition? Hearing none, motion carries. Thank you. That concludes all the items on the agenda. Now we'll move on to the reports. I'll start with Councilmember Edward Montoya.
Thank you, Mayor. I really don't have anything to report. I just have a small comment. I just got back from vacation, a very much needed week-and-a-half long vacation. My wife and I haven't taken a vacation in a good few years, so had a great time, nice and relaxing. Happy to be back and back to the grind.
Thank you. Councilmember Carla Perez.
Nothing to report. Thank you, Mayor.
Mayor Pro Tem Ed Scott.
No report.
Thank you. Absent is Andy Caraceres for report. So at this time, I'll give my report. I attended the Kelly Elementary School Site Council meeting that was held for the Rialto Unified School District. It was well done, and we went over the safety plan of what needs to be done and what not needs to be done in the communications between the school district and then also our police department too as well. So it was done very well and well attended by many of the students and faculty members at Kelly Elementary School. Then I'd also like to report that we did a check presentation that was done by Congressman Pete Aguilar in reference to our criminology that we have here in terms of providing cameras for the police department. It was well attended by members of the council. Present were Mayor Pro Tem Ed Scott, Council Member Andy Caraceres was present, and Council Member Carla Perez were in attendance at the presentation. And we'd like to thank our congressman for the generous generation of $1 million plus to the city of Rialto for the police department. I also attended the girls softball board of directors meeting at Frisbee Park to discuss the upcoming season. And with that, that concludes my report. So at this time, I'll move on to members of the staff to give a report if they'd like to. At this time, I'd like to call on our clerk, Barbara McGee, city clerk.
I have no report.
Thank you. Next, I'd like to call on our city treasurer, Edward Carrillo.
Thank you, Mayor. I have nothing to report.
Thank you. Next, I'd like to call on our city manager, Tanya Williams.
Good evening, Mayor. No report this evening. Thank you.
Thank you. At this time, I'd like to call on our assistant city manager, Tim Sullivan.
Thank you, Mayor. No report this evening.
Thank you. Next, I'd like to call on our city attorney, Eric Vale.
Mayor, thank you also. Nothing to report this evening.
Thank you. Next, I'd like to call on our police chief, Mark Klein. Is Mark?
Hello, Mayor. Mayor Pro Tem and Council. The police department, I just kind of want you to know, is doing some amazing things, and it's all because of you. And so last month, 7,142 calls for service. 4,500 of those were officer initiated. That's because of the staffing that you provided for us. We took 1,262 reports, and we made 515 arrests. It's a different department. You're seeing it, and you're seeing it all unfold and build right in front of you because of your leadership and what you've provided with us. I know some of you have taken me up on my suggestion and request, so I'm going to throw it out and offer it up again. If you have an opportunity and can spend some time with us, I invite you to go on a ride with our officers to see firsthand, and you can pick any one of our officers. They're all going to deliver exactly what we do day in and day out here. So I would ask you, as we move forward to the opening of the department's new police facility.
That include the captains too?
Yes, if you would want to ride with them. I will actually make them go out and do some work in the field. And I do want, speaking of that, I do want you to know this. My captains on holidays, they're probably going to get a little irritated with me saying this. My captains on holidays will come in and they will pick somebody to go home and spend it with their families, and they actually cover their shifts, and they run a car by themselves. So I think that's just real leadership for what they've been doing. So I do invite you to do that. Speaking of the building, things are progressing well. We're still set sometime in mid-March. I know that you've all asked to look for the building, but I actually want it cleaned up, like I've said, to have you walk through it. So my office will be working with the city manager's office to schedule those appointments with you. Hopefully either collectively or individually, it's your call. But I will tell you that the department is coming along. We're doing what's now called punch walks. So we're actually going through the department, doing some fine tuning. The construction's going along, and we're really excited. And again, we appreciate you for everything that you've done for us and all the support. So thanks a lot. That's my report.
Thank you very much. Next, I'd like to call on our chief, fire chief, Chris Jensen.
Thank you, Mayor. First off, I just wanted to thank the council for the action they took tonight for the bay doors. It is a critical issue, and we appreciate your support. I wanted to let the council know that we started our recruit academy, which started this last Monday. We have 2 paramedics and 3 firefighter paramedics in that academy to fill vacancies that we currently have. And 2 of those firefighter paramedics came from our ambulance operator program, so it shows the credibility of that program and the importance of it as we move them from the paramedic field into being firefighter paramedics. We also provided hands-only CPR and AED training for the Rialto Women's Club, and we participated in the Rialto Youth Mentoring Program. Several of our members, crew members, attended the Fire Control 3 instructor live fire training in Hemet this last week. That allowed them to open their task books to become certified to instruct live fire training at an instructional level. And we received our 40-foot Connex training box from Forge Fire, which is now located at our Fire Station 205, which allows us to do some live fire training as well as rappelling, forcible entry, and other training components. So we appreciate the council's support, and our department is also changing rapidly, and we appreciate if you would like to stop by and see some of the changes that we're going through in our department as well. So thank you, council.
Thank you very much. Next, I'd like to call on our Public Works Director, Yats Emrami.
Thank you, Mayor. No report this evening.
I just, I know that today we took action on Public Works, and one of the things that we see that's going to be forthcoming is we're going to have additional rain, and I think in behalf of all of the council members here, we want to make sure that a lot of these potholes, get fixed as soon as possible, because we don't want additional damages being done, and our police department will be getting those kind of reports based on any damage to a vehicle. So hopefully that we can go out and begin to take a survey and look at what potholes need to be fixed. And I'm sure that all of us feel that way in this council. There's not one person here. But if that can be expedited and done as soon as possible as we anticipate the additional rain. So with that, thank you. Next, I'd like to call on our Community Development Director, Christina Taylor.
Thank you, Mayor. Nothing to report this evening.
Next, I'd like to call on our Parks Recreation Director, Cynthia Alvarado Crawford.
Good evening, Mayor, Mayor Pro Tem, and members of the council. Here's what's going on in Rialto. Our Senior Sweetheart Dance will be this Thursday, February 12th at the Grace Vargas Senior Center from 3 to 6 p.m. The Teen Center Valentine's Day Party will be Friday, February 13th at the Teen Center here at the Rialto Community Center from 4 to 7 p.m. Rec and Roll Saturdays will be February 14th at Andresen Park from 11 to 1 p.m. Feeding America Senior Mobile Pantry food distribution will be Wednesday, February 18th at Grace Vargas Senior Center from 9 to 11 a.m. The Department of Aging and Adult Services bus pass distribution will also be Wednesday, February 18th at the Grace Vargas Senior Center from 10 to 11 a.m. And our youth mentoring program series will continue with budgeting basics on Wednesday, February 18th and the 25th at the Teen Center from 4 to 6 p.m. The Feeling the Funk Senior Social will be Thursday, February 26th at the Grace Vargas Senior Center from 2 to 4 p.m. Rialto Girls Softball Opening Day will be Saturday, February 28th at Frisbee Park starting at 10 a.m. Tiny Tots March session will begin Monday, March 2nd at Hugh Banks Elementary and also at the Carl Johnson Center from 9 to 12 p.m. And the Rialto Youth Pony Baseball Little League Opening Day will be Saturday, March 7th at Budbender Park starting at 9:30 a.m. And then your save the dates. We have a lot of things coming up because Rialto is the place to be. The CMEX annual Run Around the Rocks will be Saturday, March 7th at the CMEX Lytle Creek Quarry from 8 to 11 a.m. Rialto Passport Day will be Saturday, March 21st at the City Clerk's office from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. Spring Extravaganza will be Saturday, April 4th at Frisbee Park from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Rialto on Wheels will be Saturday, April 25th here at the Rialto Civic Center from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. And International Festival will be Friday, May 1st at Rialto City Park from 5:30 to 9:30 p.m. And that concludes my report.
Thank you very much. Next, I'd like to call on our Finance Director, Scott William.
Thank you, Mayor. No report.
Next, I'd like to call on a Human Resource Director, Shama.
Thank you, Mayor. Nothing to report.
Thank you. Next, I'd like to call on our Utilities Director, Shashin.
Thank you, Mayor. I think the email is already received by the council, but I just wanted to reinform you that the survey for the automatic meter readers, the 8 million grant that we received, that survey is starting this week, so the people of Rialto may see Concord, that's the name of the company, that'll be going around and surveying for meter replacement.
Thank you. Seeing that we've concluded our reports, do I hear a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Motion's been made by Councilmember Carla Perez, seconded by Edwin Montoya. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposition? Hearing none. Council's adjourned.